not too long ago, the focus of productivity was how do we do more, better, faster? And it was all about the hustle and the grind and hustle culture, go in early, stay late. And it was like a badge of honor to work through meals and to be the first person in and the last person out. And the cool thing that I've seen through COVID is people are starting to change their priorities, and they're looking for more balance, and they're looking for more harmony. And a big focus with my clients just this past year has really shifted from, instead of figuring out how do I fit more in or how do I get faster or better, it's how do I do less? How can I make more impact by really focusing on those essential things that are going to move the needle, that are going to serve my clients, that are going to serve my team, that are going to serve my family. And so that is a big transition and shift that I have seen just within productivity. Is a lot of us were talking about better, faster, more efficient. And now it's balance, harmony, slow down, make a bigger impact. And that has been one of the most fun things for me through COVID, is just seeing that transition. As far as like the coaching industry, I think a big transition, and this maybe isn't as recent, but technology. We used to have to meet in person or on a phone call. And now, I can take a walk and I can get my client out. If we can't meet in person, if I'm meeting with somebody in, say, Australia or Arizona, we can meet on Zoom or on a phone call and take a walk and still have a coaching session. And it's getting them out of their office. It's getting them out of their head and into their body a little bit. And we can explore. But I love having the technology of Zoom where I can still see their faces and we can still interact. I can see when they lean into stuff. I can see when they tighten up or back out of stuff. So I feel like, definitely Zoom technology, social media. Wow, wow, wow. Blessings and curses. So many different things there. I mean, I could go all day on all the different, but I think the biggest thing is just the shift, and not just in productivity, but I think in all business, is really seeking out that harmony. If I had to bring it down to one thing, that would be it.
Welcome to the Analytical Rewired, the best place to discuss various obstacles, limitations, challenges, behaviors, and how to overcome them in business. We deep dive into the complexities of people, processes, data, and technology, PPDT, adopting our focus to be either technical or creative expressions, and how to balance the two. The Analytical Rewired is brought to you by the MJW Group, a performance improvement and leadership development boutique management consulting firm that helps companies save time and money leveraging operational excellence. Our mission is to enable your organization to be more successful by refining overarching strategies into detailed plans to be implemented, generate creative and technical solutions for your operational challenges, augment and supplement your existing teams, and help you create processes that allow you to be more efficient with the resources you have. You can learn more about the MJW Group on our website at themjwgrp.com. Welcome to the Analytical Rewired. I am your host, Jennifer White, CEO of the MJW Group, and I have my co-host here with me, Sarah Ashley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Today we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Monica, and she is a productivity consultant. Monica Young. So I will let Monica go ahead and introduce herself to the audience.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to work and play with you. I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here and spend some time with you. But as Jennifer said, I'm a productivity consultant. That means basically I am a business coach, and I specialize in productivity, time management, operations, process, and systems. I have owned and operated my own businesses for over 25 years. I've been a business coach for over 15 years, and I've specialized in productivity for the last 7 years. So that's just the quick and dirty. I live here in Charlotte. I've got a dog named Millie the Millinator, who's my office manager, and my husband. So
I
All
love
right. Yeah, exactly. So Monica, you and I connected because here at the MJW Group, we were looking for some training on productivity, organization, and time management. So Monica and I connected. I think I did a random Google search for trainers here in Charlotte, and Monica popped up. So that's how we connected, and she came in and helped us through that. Oh my gosh, it's been like almost 2 months ago.
it has.
Strange.
It seems like it was just yesterday, but then also like it's been a really long time.
Time is flying. I can't believe we're like less than 90 days away from a brand new year.
Shut your
Insane.
mouth.
It's just crazy.
Stop
It's insane.
talking.
So, Monica, what interested you in becoming a business consultant for focusing on the productivity side of things and time management?
Yeah, I actually, like I said, I've been a business coach for 15 years, and I fell into coaching and consulting and training kind of accidentally. I was in the fitness industry, and the average lifespan of, not lifespan, business span of somebody in the industry is less than 2 years. The 80% of people never renew their certification. And I was in the industry for 25 years. So because I was a long timer and I was pretty successful, people just came to me and asked me to, like, what are you doing? How are you doing it? And I love to teach. I love to share my gifts and my passion to help other people. And so that was kind of how I fell into coaching and consulting. And over the years, I don't know why it took me so long, but just during COVID, I realized that all of the coaching that I do, the foundation always comes back to strategy, systems, productivity, organizing. That is the foundation for all of the work, all of the conversations. And it just kind of hit me. I was like, I should probably specialize in productivity consulting since that's what I do anyway, instead of just saying, the broad, I'm a business coach. So, again, it was kind of accidental. It's kind of just how I'm wired and what I do and how I roll. And I just had a little spotlight on it over the past couple of years.
Nice. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and honestly, what you taught me, I guess, during our team co-working day has been so helpful with my productivity that it's been absolutely insane. I could tell a huge difference too. It took me I think 2 weeks to kind of get into the flow of things because I had to figure out what worked best for myself. But it was super, super helpful. And I was like, I'm going to tell Monica on this call today.
I got the
it's been
chills.
super helpful. And I was like, who knew something so simple could be so helpful? You would think it's just kind of common sense to be productive or to plan things of that nature. But for some reason, it just took, I think, your conversation to kind of get me in that mindset and strategize a little bit better.
I love it. Do we have time for me to ask? Was there like one specific thing that clicked? Was there like a specific
I was thinking
aha?
the same question.
Yeah, it was the time blocking. It was the time blocking, and then using like 30 minutes of my day in the morning to plan out my tasks and then prioritize them for the week.
It's
still
amazing.
working on the little tiny ones, like the little ones that I get throughout the day, like during meetings and stuff. I'm still working that out, but everything else has been super helpful.
Oh, I'm so excited. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Monica, where do you normally see that evolution happening? Like, I'm just curious, is there like a age time frame? Is there like something happens in someone's life that causes them to be more organized? Because I don't know, like I feel like I've always been a planner. Like literally that's what I've gotten paid to do, is to plan for people. And ever since I was little, I can remember like laying out my clothes the night before, like packing my lunch the night before, making sure my backpack was right by the door, my shoes was ready to go. Like, so when does that happen for most people?
I think some people are wired for it. I think some people, it depends on how you were raised. If your mom, got you in the habit of, when you, right after dinner, you set your clothes out for the next day, you're packing your lunch. Sometimes it's just rhythms and routines and rituals that you pick up from your family and your environment. Some people are just wired for it. I came out organizing. I was trying to think of something that would be in a baby's room, but I'm the same way. I look for patterns, I look for systems, I look for rhythms, and I'm just wired for it. I would say a majority of people are not necessarily wired for it. And what happens when we get into our adult world is we are constantly getting pulled in multiple directions. There's always something ringing or dinging or blinking. And so we're just trying to keep up with the day. And at some point it hits us that it's kind of like I'm never going to get caught up. There's like a moment, or somebody gets in trouble when they are on vacation and they have their laptop and their phone with them on vacation, or if they're on their phone during dinner. That's usually kind of a trigger point where people are like, I better get some help. And to where they do reach out for a coach or some guidance or some structure. But it's usually just that they are either feeling stuck or they're feeling overwhelmed and they just can't get caught up and they can't see their own way out of it, or they're just wired for it. So lots of options in there.
Yeah, I'm more of a creative person, so I've always been a very go with the flow. Well, I'll figure it out. It always works out. We'll figure it out. But I think kind of starting this job too, I was just like, I feel like I need to learn how to strategize and plan a lot more, because I am taking on, a bunch of different hats with the company too. So, I had to somewhat rewire the way that I thought in a certain aspect, especially when it comes to like planning out tasks and priorities.
But the cool thing is, and especially I do a lot of work with creatives, a lot of work with service providers, and there is that creativity. But when you're in the go, 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 and you're just putting out fires all day, it stifles the creativity. But the first thing people say is, well, I don't want to time block because it stifles me. And I'm like, no, if you time block, you're going to get some stuff done and you're going to have some buffer time, and you can actually block time that you can be creative. And it actually gives you the opportunity to enhance and to really dive into your creativity that a lot of times you don't have the opportunity to do if you're not taking that little bit of time to plan and strategize and time block. So I love that aha moment, especially working with creatives. I see that a lot.
Yeah, and I'll say that too, just because I was trying to finish a lot of tasks. I wasn't planning them out. I was just getting them done. And I feel like now that I've planned it out, I actually have way more time to get to that creative spark that's in the back of my brain, to kind of like finally be creative. The way that I'm personally wired originally is to be creative. So now that I've been able to do that, I'm like, oh, now I have time to actually think through these creative aspects and do this. And it's like kind of opened up another like version to like my professional life, which is nice.
Excellent. That makes me so happy. I know I've said that 20 times, but it really does make me so happy.
That's my testimonial.
I appreciate it. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Monica, tell us a little bit about how your industry has shifted over the years. So I guess you're in the educational training and development industry per se.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with kind of productivity specific. Not too long ago, the focus of productivity was how do we do more, better, faster? And it was all about the hustle and the grind and hustle culture, go in early, stay late. And it was like a badge of honor to work through meals and to be the first person in and the last person out. And the cool thing that I've seen through COVID is people are starting to change their priorities, and they're looking for more balance, and they're looking for more harmony. And a big focus with my clients just this past year has really shifted from, instead of figuring out how do I fit more in or how do I get faster or better, it's how do I do less? How can I make more impact by really focusing on those essential things that are going to move the needle, that are going to serve my clients, that are going to serve my team, that are going to serve my family. And so that is a big transition and shift that I had seen just within productivity. Is a lot of us were talking about better, faster, more efficient. And now it's balance, harmony, slow down, make a bigger impact. And that has been one of the most fun things for me through COVID, is just seeing that transition. As far as like the coaching industry, I think a big transition, you know, and this maybe isn't as recent, but technology. You know, we used to have to meet in person or on a phone call. And now, you know, I can take a walk and I can get my client out. If we can't meet in person, if I'm meeting with somebody in, say, Australia or Arizona, we can meet on Zoom or on a phone call and take a walk and still have a coaching session. And it's getting them out of their office. It's getting them out of their head and into their body a little bit. And we can explore. But I love having the technology of Zoom where I can still see their faces and we can still interact. I can see when they lean into stuff. I can see when they tighten up or back out of stuff. So I feel like, you know, definitely Zoom technology, social media. Wow, wow, wow. Blessings and curses. You know, so many different things there. I mean, I could go all day on all the different, but I think the biggest thing is just the shift, and not just in productivity, but I think in all business, is really seeking out that harmony. If I had to bring it down to one thing, that would be it.
Nice. And yeah, I think you just dropped a couple of bars there on doing less, really, right? That's part of your whole framework of your teaching that I learned, and that stuck with me. And then yes, the technology piece, how we as human beings have adapted ever so much. Like it's weird. Like I look at pictures that I took long time ago, like when I first got my cell phone, and you can see like the quality of our pictures and how they look now. It's like, well, what happened? The technology happened. So it's interesting to see, like, as more productivity gets used in innovation for technology, we're pulling away from it, which is interesting because it should help ease the quality of life, but we're finding ourselves like we need to unplug from it more and more and more.
Yeah, the blessings and curses.
Yeah, and I think I'm personally happy that we've all tried to like slow. I feel like 2020 kind of caused everyone to slow down, like physically caused everyone to slow down and reevaluate everything that they were doing with work, and how burnt out they were getting. And that kind of falls in with what you were saying about doing less, which I've personally found is better for me because I need that balance. If I'm constantly thinking about work or what I need to be doing with work, that ends up overwhelming me more. And then I freeze and I'm like, well, I don't know what to attack first because there's too much. So I think that's super important too, to recognize that culture that was burning yourself out to get more done, it's no longer as popular anymore, which is what I love that.
Yeah. I heard somebody, I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, and I heard somebody say, don't go in on Monday with a work hangover. And that really stuck with me, because if you are thinking about your work or doing work all weekend, you're not coming in fresh and ready to go on Monday. You've got that work hangover. You're already tired. You're already mentally fatigued. You're already decision fatigued. You're like, oh my gosh, you know, and Monday feels like Wednesday and Wednesday feels like Friday, but then you still have 2 days to work. So I love that concept of the work hangover. It really kind of helps put things in perspective, especially for not working on the weekend. Like come in Monday fresh, and you're going to be that much more effective and productive, and you're going to have more balance, and your spouse or partner will be much happier with you if you're not working on the weekend and you just come in fresh Monday.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about like what's one thing that you've learned. I know you've been doing it for a long time, so I'm sure there's a million of them, but like what's something that you've learned that you've either had to change or kind of like rewire about your thinking?
Change or rewire about my thinking. I think And yes, you're right. My first business I started before we had cell phones.
Love it.
Before we even had pagers. So
What a
yes,
thought. No, just kidding.
I've had to literally rewire a lot of things. I think the doing less has certainly been something there, but let's talk about something different. I think one of the biggest things that I have, well, actually a two-part thing is, one, just because I can do something does not mean I should. A lot of us, we try to wear all the hats and we do all the things and we feel like we need to be responsible and we don't want to ask for help and we just want to get the job done, and we take on a lot more than we really should. And we try to do things that we see somebody else do on Instagram, or we see this coach do this, or we see our competitors do this, but it's not necessarily the right thing for us. So I think keeping my blinders on, sometimes, people now will ask me about my competition and I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't get into their business. I got to focus on me and my clients. So that was a huge rewiring, because I used to really, and we used to be taught, like, you do your SWOT analysis and you compare and, and yes, you're going to keep a little bit of an eye on your competition, but I don't think that that is as important, especially to me. Maybe some businesses it is, but that was a huge rewiring for me, was don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Listen to your heart and your gut, and to pay attention to that and know that I'm the expert and that I know what I'm doing. And you can do that whether you're a business owner or a coach or a professional or, a carpet cleaner. It doesn't matter, whoever you are and whatever role you're in, you are the expert and you know what you're doing. And to just really celebrate and appreciate your gifts and your work and not worry so much about what everybody else is doing. That's been a big rewire.
Love it.
Bars. Okay, let's rewind that. Play it back. So don't worry about what other people think. Trust your gut and just go for it. Like, who's going to stop you?
Yeah.
Nobody. we have a motto here at the MJW Group where we say, if you create, you don't have to compete. And we truly believe in that, because you create your own reality. Like, you're creating your own standards, your own lane, and there's nothing that's going to stop you. If you're in agreement and in alignment with whoever you believe in, the universe per se, there's nothing that's going to stop you. The universe is there to help you. It's just going to open up. Okay, you want to go this way today? Okay, I'll open that door. If you want to go this way, I'll open that door. I think people get bogged down with like you're saying, with disbelief, right? Not really believing in what they want, who they are, and where they want to go in life. And we get so distracted by all these other things out there that's happening. I mean, I can look back at my own transformation, because I'm like, I don't really watch. I mean, you see this TV back here, but like, I don't really turn that thing on. Like, I don't even know why it's there anymore. Whereas I used to watch a lot of TV, but now I'd rather do podcast episodes. I'd rather go on social media and meet people. I'd rather do Google searches and meet people right in the same city as me. I'd rather do that than to waste my mind doing other things.
Yeah.
Bars. This time you, Jennifer, bars.
That's great.
No, yeah, I love that, Monica. Oh my gosh. I love that.
Yeah, I've never heard that. Trust your gut. I liked that one.
I did steal that. I cannot take credit. I did steal that from somebody several years ago. And I'm so bad. Like, I hear these things and every once in a while I'll just have this aha, like the work hangover. I can't tell you where I was or what I was doing, but I remembered that. I remembered the lesson, which I guess is the whole point. And I can't tell you who said the hut, but that was your heart, your gut, all the things in between. I love that phrase, but I can't take credit for it.
Nice. So what point do you recommend people who are searching, like we did, right? We were searching for a solution for our team because they voiced their concern about productivity, time management, and organization. So when do you suggest that potential clients reach out to you?
Oh, good question. I think I think it's when you're feeling busy, 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 on the hamster wheel. And it's that overwhelming feeling of, I've got too much to do, not enough time. I can't get caught up and I can't see my way out of it. I just need some outside perspective on, just figuring it all out. Just take all the crazy, bring it in, sort it out, and create that plan for moving forward, and really having that outside perspective to help point out, to mirror some of the rhythms and routines that you're working with naturally, like with Sarah, the creative time, making sure that you're making time for that, that's important to you, and having some outside guidance and support and accountability. We can ask the questions that you don't even think about, and we can see some of those patterns and routines. And again, I love, sorry, I just went off on a tangent, but I love, I mentioned before, like when I see people lean in when they're talking about something and you can see their face light up, you can't see that on yourself when you're talking about something or when you're planning or you're trying to figure out your to-dos. So having outside perspective, I can see that. I can see when you close your arms or when you lean back or when your face drops, or and I can also see the light. And so that's where a coach comes in really handy. And I feel like the time to reach out to a coach or consultant is when you're feeling like you need that, when you're feeling, I'm stuck, I can't figure it out myself, it's just too much, I'm too close to it. One of my favorite phrases, and again, stole it, don't know whose it was, I'm a terrible person. You can't read the label from inside the jar. And we tend to be in our own little jars and the label's on the outside, but I can't see that label. So I need that outside perspective to tell me what's going on out there and possibly to help me get out of the jar. So it's when you're feeling like you're stuck in the jar and you're too close to it, you can't see it. Too much to do, not enough time. And like we said before, if you're going in early, staying late, working through your meals, skipping your workouts, if you're working on your weekends and your vacations, going in with the work hangover, that's a really good time to reach out to somebody to say, hey, whoa, let's sort this out.
Bars again. Oh man, this is great. When you mentioned that about a jar, I just thought about, because I love pickles. So I'm like, man, if I was a pickle in a pickle jar and I didn't know, like, there's a whole other world out here besides me. Like, how would I react to being a pickle? Oh my gosh, I love it.
I love pickles too. I love that you went there. Do you drink the pickle juice?
Sometimes. The bread and butter, like, I like the sweet kind. Yeah.
Those are good.
But yeah, I love that you use that analogy, because I do think there's a season for everything, and I always think of it as like you're sprinting. So recently I found myself in the ER of randomness. But yeah, and I'm overcoming that debacle. But if I had not did the things that I did to prepare, well, I wouldn't even say prepare, like I didn't know that was going to happen, but it was kind of like there's seasons where you're going to be sprinting, you're working to put things in place for that what if moment or something happens, right? And to know that everything was taken care of while I was dealing with that, it was like, okay, I get it now. Yeah.
That's where systems and automations and
right.
SOP, even if you're an individual, like even if you're working by yourself, you don't have a team or whatever, it is so helpful to have checklists or systems or templates or automations. I love automations. That's a whole nother day. But yeah, it makes such a difference to, have things in place where somebody else can come in and pick up where you left off and, know where to find things and know how to do things. And the other thing that you just made me think of was you had asked before about things to rewire. I think a lot of times we feel like we should always be moving forward. And I think it's really important to remember that we're more on a roller coaster. It's not even an up and down. Like there's some swirlies and some upside inversions and that that's okay. It is okay to sometimes be in growth mode. And it is sometimes in the sprints. That's what made me think of this. It's okay. Maybe you have like a seasonal sprint. This is our big season. We go, 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 go. But then you've got to build in some maintenance and recovery time, because you can't sprint. You'll die. So if you think of it more as, we're going to sprint for a little while. Okay, now this season, whether it's a month or a week or a couple of weeks or however long, we're going to go into maintenance. We're going to refresh, regroup, finesse, enhance. And then now that we've done that, we've updated our systems and our automations. Now we're ready for the next sprint. And that was a huge rewire, because I think, you go to school and you get a job and you do really well, or you start a business and things just, you just think that things are supposed to move forward. And if you feel like you're stagnant, that feels like a bad thing, but there's got to be like a switch there where I'm not being stagnant. I'm refreshing, I'm rejuvenating, I'm recovering. And it's important to make sure that that is built into whether it's your business or your job or whatever.
Agreed.
Love it.
I feel like that kind of gives you, I know we also say this a lot at the MJW group, prehab is better than rehab. And I feel like if, you're planning ahead for these types of things, you're not just reactive to certain situations. And I think that's kind of where productivity and strategizing and planning, where that kind of comes in.
That's awesome. And you know what,
Sarah?
Pleasure.
I love it. Everybody got him today. No, I'll be on a podcast 6 months from now, and I'll be like, prehab's better than rehab.
Oh, me.
No,
All
that's
right,
fantastic.
Monica.
I love that.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today, is there anything you like to leave with the audience? I don't know, maybe you have a promo code or a strategy call that folks can reach out to you for. Is there anything you'd like to leave the audience?
Absolutely. No, I just said no. Yes. I would love to offer a complimentary consultation call, discovery call, whatever you want to call it, where if somebody is feeling stuck or overwhelmed, or that they're just too busy, too much to do, can't get caught up, can't see their way out of the pickle jar, I would love to offer a complimentary consultation. I always give some actionable steps, whether you decide to work with me or not. We explore what's going on, what's holding you back, what's tripping you up, what the bottlenecks are. And, I give you some options for ways we may be able to work together. If it's a good fit, great. If not, I still give you actionable steps. So I love doing strategy calls. I love being a resource for people. So I would love to offer a complimentary, not strategy call, excuse me, a complimentary discovery call with anybody from that happens to hear this. And they don't need a code or anything. They can just say, I heard you on the MJW. Whatever you guys want to do with that.
Awesome. We'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And I'm sure the audience will as well. Any last parting words?
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Stop shitting on yourself. That's been a big theme this week. That's come up in a lot of my conversations. So I'll just go with that, since that's what the universe has been giving me this week.
I love it. Well, awesome. Exactly. Where else can our viewers find you? Like your social media, website, all that?
Yeah. So my website is myproductivebiz.com. And my LinkedIn is just the regular LinkedIn, and it's at Monica J. Young.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. I love hanging out with. Well, I could do this all day. I'm like, let's do this every week. Let's just get talk about fun productivity stuff. But
I know.
You guys having me is always a pleasure, hanging out with you guys, working and playing. And I just adore you and appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Same here. We appreciate you. So everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Analytical Rewired today. We appreciate Monica being on with us. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.